Hi, thanks for joining me. So this class I wanted it to be a strong workout, but I wanted it to have traditional Pilates base. So quite a few of the traditional Pilates exercises in here. I haven't done a lot of them recently, so it will be interesting, but it's always fun to go back to the more traditional style exercises. It's probably about a level 2, level 3 workout. So if at any point you feel like something's not quite right, stop. If you're doing something like a rollover and you're on your neck and it's not right, stop. Just don't do it. There's no point. You know, most of you are my clients, so I'll probably see you soon, so just don't worry about it. The other thing I wanted to do was have it not be so long, so maybe 35, 40-minute workout. I feel like oftentimes I want to do a class, but I don't have an hour. So 30 minutes is really ideal for me. The other thing I want you to do with this class is I want you to take the time right now to let go of who you're trying to be or who you think you need to be. And I want you to, for this class, just to be a being that is exercising. So you're not a mother, you're not a father, you're not an employee or an employer. You don't have a to-do list, you don't need to go shopping, you don't have anywhere else you need to be or anything else that you should be doing. You are just here in this moment right now, having let go of who you think you need to be or who you should be or who you want to be. And you're just existing and exercising. So we're going to start sitting up, feet hip width apart, hands behind the thighs, and just lengthening up through the crown of the head. And just taking a moment to center yourself. So really just trying to find that height, that length, that space in between the vertebrae, that space in between the ribs. And just taking a breath in to the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. And as you breathe out, just draw your belly button toward your spine, pelvic floor arm, ribs narrowing as you lengthen your spine even taller. Breathing again. And again as you breathe out, feel the skin of your torso move away from your clothes as the back of your neck lengthens long. Breathing again to the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. This time we're going to move as you breathe out. Tip the pelvis, tuck the tail, round into the spine in the imprint. Move away from your thighs. Exhale as you roll back to your shoulder blades. Taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, draw your belly button in. Pelvic floor on. To peel the spine up. Maintaining your C-curve position. Just keeping the shoulders over, hips breathing in. And as you breathe out, draw your belly in. Try and peel the spine down, bone by bone. Using the abdominals to support you. Breathing in at the bottom and breathing out. Peeling up. Bone by bone. Last one, I'm going to add some arms, shoulders over hips, breathing in. And as you breathe out, draw your belly in. Pull up from the pubic bone to the belly button. Zip up the tailbone. Breathing in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe out, reach through the armpits. Maintain your C-curve, ribs pulling back in space. Breathing in, we're going to add some arms. Breathing out. Tummy draws in. Rolling back. Holding it here as you inhale. Arms come overhead. Exhale, take them out to the side. Forwards as you use that connection to roll back up in your C-curve position, breathing in. Breathing out. Peeling back down, bone by bone. Try and keep the chest lifted. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, take them out to the side. Use that connection through the arms and the abdominals to come up. Breathing in your C-curve position. Breathing out. Peeling back down, bone by bone. Breathing in, arms come up, out to the side, breathe out. Use that contraction. So we're going to add a rotation now. So just sitting up nice and tall. You're going to inhale, rotate away from me. And as you exhale, you're going to peel the spine back and down. Try and keep the knees in line with each other, the hips in line, or the pelvis neutral. As you inhale, you're going to take your arms around to the side, overhead and to the other side. And you're going to exhale to come up. Rotate it toward me. Back to the center. Inhale, rotate toward me. Exhale to scoop around the spine and roll back. As you inhale, take the arms up. As you exhale, they come around to the side away from me and you roll up on that side. Back to the center. Inhale away from me. Exhale to scoop. Try and keep those knees level. Tummy drawing in. Inhale, arms come up and over. And exhale, we come up. Try and rotate the ribs. Rather than thinking about rotating the shoulders, inhale. Exhale to scoop back and down. The shoulders should not, inhale, be an entity, an individual. Exhale to come up, entity to the rib cage. Center, inhale away from me. So they should be, exhale to roll down. The shoulders should be attached to the ribs. Inhale to rotate over. Exhale to come up. They should not be their own individual, so they should be moving independently from the rib cage, is what I'm trying to say. Last one, inhale, rotate toward me. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, up and over. And exhale. All the way up. Inhale to center. And exhale. I'm going to roll all the way down. I'm going to scooch forward a little bit for the pelvic curls. So my feet are closer to my bottom. Shoulders are away from the ears. You should have a little bit of a connection through the shoulder blades at the back, but you shouldn't be squeezing. Your arms are reaching down your spine towards your feet. Length through the space between your ears and your shoulders. Feet hip width, knees hip width. Taking a breath in a neutral pelvis position. Breathing out. You're going to tip the pelvis, tuck the tail and peel the spine up. Bone by bone into a pelvic curl. So 3 is going to be my magic number today. Breathing in. And as we breathe out, drop down through the ribs. And peel the spine down, allowing the pelvis to settle in neutral, breathing in. Back along the side of the ribs, breathing out. Pilates breath, so use your lower abdominals, pelvic floor, elongate out through the knees, knees over toes, breath in at the top. And as you breathe out, drop down through the throat, the sternum, the ribs, the lower back, the pelvis. Breathing in. Last one, as we breathe out, tip the pelvis, tuck the tail between the knees. Give each vertebra some space, time on the floor as you come up bone by bone, like an imprint of each vertebra. Breath in. And then again, as you roll down, try and give each vertebra some time on the mat before it sets into its neutral position. So breathing in, we're going to breathe out and pelvic curl up. Holding the position now, keeping the chest nice and open. Ribs drawing in. We're going to take a breath in. I'm going to breathe up to float the leg closest to me up into tabletop. You're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to pelvic curl down. You'll notice that the knee that's in tabletop will move according to the way the pelvis moves. Breath in. Breathing out. Try and make sure the knee that's in tabletop just stays there. Breathing in at the top. Breathing out. Feeling down. Try and keep the knee of the stationary leg nice and straight. Don't let it go out to the side. Exhale as you peel up. Press that stationary foot through the floor. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bone by bone. Keeping the shoulders wide. Well, the chest wide, really. Breathing in. Last one. Breathing out. Tip the pelvis, tuck the tail, and peel the spine up off the mat. Breathing in, place that foot down that's closest to me. And as you exhale, float the leg up that's furthest away into tabletop. Inhale and exhale to peel down, bone by bone, allowing the pelvis to settle in. Neutral breathing in and breathing out. Peeling up. Try and keep even length through both sides of the waist. Exhale to roll down. It is quite normal to feel very different side to side. Breathing in, breathing out. Think of length through the leg that's away from me, reaching to the knee, reaching the knee to the roof. Breath in. Breathe out to peel down. Settling in neutral, breathing in. Breathing out. As you inhale, place that foot down on the mat. Try not to have too much movement through the pelvis, or at least notice what's happening there. Ideally, you don't have too much movement through the pelvis. And as you breathe out, peel the spine down. Bone by bone. Arms come out to the side just below chest height. Palms facing up. Float the knees one at a time into tabletop. Maintaining neutral pelvis, knees and feet together, going into the spine twist. So inhale to take your knees across to the left, lifting up under the right hip, keeping the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. As you exhale, use your abdominals of the right side to pull the pelvis back to center. Inhale, knees to the right, lifting the left pelvis. And as you exhale, use the left ribs, left waist to bring the pelvis back to center. Inhale across to the left, and lifting the right pelvis. Keeping the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. Exhale, use the ribs, the waist, the hips to pull the pelvis back to center. Last one, inhale. We're going to do one more each side, we're going to add on to it. Exhale, use the ribs, the left side to pull the pelvis back to center. So you're going to inhale across to the left. You're going to hold it here, and you're going to extend the right knee, keeping the knees together. And as you exhale to come back to center, you're going to keep that leg straight. And then bend into tabletop. You're going to inhale to go across to the right, lifting the left hip. And then you're going to hold it here and extend the left leg. Big stretch to the side of the leg. Exhale to come back to the center. And bend into tabletop. Drop the feet now, not the knees. I want you to maintain this position. What I want you to think about, so we're going to do some chest lift. I want you to think about the back of your hip. So we're going to do toe tapping. I want you to think about dropping the back of the hip, sort of back, or the bottom of the hip into its socket at the back as you tap the toe down, rather than letting your back go or reaching the leg away. So think of the femur, the thigh bone, sort of sliding down and then coming back up. So you're going to interlace fingers, hands behind the head, thumbs drawing down the neck, elbows slightly forward where you can see them in your peripherals. Try and let your knees relax, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to curl forward and lift the head and chest. Try and keep those armpits nice and forward. In this exercise, I want you to try and stay lifted through the chest. That is your task, without losing neutral. So you want your chest to stay lifted the whole time. So we're going to breathe and prepare, and as you breathe out, you're going to slide the right toe down to the mat. Breathe in to lift it up. Breathe out to slide the left toe down. Breathe in, lift. Each time you breathe out to slide, try and get a little bit more depth of contraction through your upper abs. So really engage, reach your armpits to the roof. So you can get as much height as possible with your chest, without sacrificing your neutral pelvis to do so. One more each leg. 2 total. Now we're going to do doubles. Breath in to prepare, you're going to breathe out to glide both feet down. Inhale up. So really trying to work through the lower abs to control your neutral pelvis, using the upper abdominals to support your spine. 2 more, breathing out. breathing. Last one. Breathing in. I'm going to do chest rotation, so breathe out. Tap the right toe, rotate the left shoulder to the right shoulder to the left knee. Breathe in center. Tap the left toe, left shoulder to the right knee. Breathing in. Breathing out, try and stay up. So think ribs lift up and over. Last one, each side. And rest. Cuddle the knees into the chest. Just rocking from side to side. We're going to go into a full roll up now. From there, we're going to go into a roll over. That's going to move into a control balance. If you, which is just a hard exercise where you've got your legs up in the air and you've got most of your weight on your upper back. If you feel like that's too much, just stop. Maybe do some hundreds. They will never do you a disservice. So you're going to extend the legs, squeeze those inner thighs together. Keep the ribs down as your arms go overhead. If you cannot get your arms to the floor without popping out through the ribs, just don't put them on the floor. So really leaving the ribs nice and low. You're going to breathe in to lift your head, your chest, and reach your arms towards your feet. Breathe out to roll up into sitting. We're going to roll back down, and from there we're going to go into a roll over. So breath in. Breathing out to scoop from the low abs. Heel the spine down. Hands are going to come down on the floor. Head down. We're going to bring the legs, slide the toes in along the floor. Bring the legs into tabletop, extend the legs. Take them down to a 45-degree angle, breathing in. As you breathe out, straight up in the air, up and rolling over. From here, you're going to flex your feet, separate your legs. Just make sure that you can turn your head from left to right in this position so that you've not got too much weight on your neck. And I want you to just gently lower the feet toward the floor and then breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll the spine down, bone by bone. Keeping the feet pointed, you're going to circle them down, around, bring them together, up and over as you breathe out. Try and keep the pelvis lifted. Flex, separate, and lower the feet. And then slowly peel down on your out breath. Point the feet, breathing in, circle them down, around, breathe out. Up and over, last one. From here, we're going to go into the control balance. We're going to flex the feet, separate the legs and lower the feet towards the floor. And I'm going to circle my arm, one at a time, around. And I'm going to bring my feet into my hands. From here, I'm going to breathe out and extend my legs straight up. And I've got a bar here, so I'm actually going to move. Excuse me. Try and do that a little bit quickly. So I'm going to extend the right leg up. Now you want to try and squeeze through the glute to get that leg as straight as possible, while keeping the counterbalance of the other foot in the hand. And then you're going to switch. And switch. And switch. One more each leg, breathing up to switch. Breathe out to switch. Trying to keep your waist lifted the whole time. Bring the top foot down into the rollover position. Circle your arms one at a time. Back down, and then slowly roll the spine down. Bend the knees into tabletop, lower the feet down to the mat, extend the legs. Legs together, breathe in to lift your head, your chest and your arms. Breathe out to roll up into sitting. From here, I'm going to do this all. So sitting up nice and tall. If you find it difficult to sit up properly or sit up with straight legs, sit up on a cushion or on a block or something, give yourself a bit of a lift, or just bend your knees. It's okay to have your knees a little bit bent. But I just want you to try and sit up as tall as you can, keeping your legs outstretched. Arms out to the sides. So as you inhale, you're going to rotate to your left. You're going to take your arms with you. You're going to soar off your left ankle with your right hand, reaching backwards with your left hand. I'm going to stretch forward on the right diagonal, and then I'm going to, as I soar off my left ankle, I'm going to lengthen that arm up, and I'm going to come back to center. Inhale, rotate to the right, soaring off the right ankle with the left hand, reaching past the left leg, stretching through the back arm at the same time, coming up on a long diagonal, and back to center. Inhale to rotate, exhale to soar. Center, inhale, exhale. One more each way, inhale, rotate, left, exhale to soar, and center, inhale, rotate, right, exhale to soar, and center. Bring those legs back together, shuffle forward a little bit, maybe the neck, pull, interlacing these hands behind the head. From this position, we're going to start sort of halfway through, but from this position we're just going to hinge from the hips. So you're going to lean back, maintaining a neutral spine for about 45, and then scoop from the lower abs and roll down. So your neck pull is a full roll up with the hands behind the head. This is quite difficult to do. If you need help, when you get to this point, bring both hands to your forehead, and as you come up, then put them back behind your head. So you're going to inhale to lift your head, keeping the hands behind the head. Exhale to roll up. Nose to knees. From here, I want you to extend the spine straight up. Length up through the crown of the head. From here, we're going to lean straight back on the 45, and then scoop and roll. And again, a little bit faster. Inhale to lift the head, exhale, roll it up. Nose to knees. Inhale to lift straight up. Lean back. Exhale to scoop. Roll it down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Nose to knees. Inhale to sit straight up. Lean it back. And exhale to scoop down. Well done. Going to go on to, I think I'm going to do a cat stretch, and then we're going to do pyramid to plank with arabesque. That means with one leg extended. So just on your hands and knees for me. Hands directly above. Hands are directly below the shoulders. Knees directly below the hips. In this position, taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're just going to round your back up toward the roof. Trying to stay direct, trying to keep your shoulders directly above your hands and your hips directly above your knees. And then inhale and exhale to extend the spine. Try not to drop through the ribs, and try not to lift the head too much. Inhale to come back through neutral, exhale. Try not to pitch forward or back. Inhale to come back through neutral. Keep the shoulders away from ears. Exhale to extend. Keeping the ribs lifted. Inhale back through neutral. Exhale to round. Lifting the ribs to the roof. Inhale back through neutral. Exhale. Arching the back. Inhale to neutral. From here, I'm just going to move forward a little bit. I'm going to step my left foot back, trying to maintain my neutral position. Remember that if your hands are the base of a triangle, your eyes are looking at the pinnacle of the triangle. You want to try and keep your hips where they are. Don't let them dip as you lift your right foot back. From here, we're going to take a breath in and we're going to go to a downward dog or an upstretch position. Breathing out. Try and get that tailbone to the roof as if somebody is standing behind you that grabbed you by your belt or your waist and they're pulling you back. Don't let your head drop too far through your arms. You want to keep your head through your arms without collapsing through the neck. Heels reaching toward the floor. I'm going to move forward a little bit. And from here, I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to point the right foot. As I breathe out, I'm going to extend it up into the air, breathing in. As I breathe out, I'm going to come forward into a plank position. Breathing in, breathing out. Point the foot, lift the leg, coming up into your downward dog or your upstretch with arabesque. Breathing in, breathing up, coming forward. Keep the hips lifted, keep the ribs lifted. Breathing in, breathe out to lift the leg. Bring those hips up into that pike. Breathing in. Remember, the head is an extension of the spine. Where the spine goes, it goes. Placing that left foot down, right foot down, pointing the left toes, reaching the left leg back. Breath in, breathe out, lift into that arabesque. Keep that left knee as pointed as you can. Breathe in. Breathe out to come forward into your plank position. Breathe in. Breathe out to lift. Lift through the back of that left leg. Breathing. Breathing out to come forward. Hovering that left foot. Keeping the head as an extension of the spine. Breathing in. Last one. Breathe out. Pike it up. Extend. Breathing in. And breathing out. Coming forward into the plank. Place the left foot down. Place your knees down. Rolling onto your right hand side for me now. You're going to come onto the elbow. So we're going to be in a position like the setup for a side plank. So you're going to be on, you want your right elbow to be directly under your right shoulder. And you want your underneath waist to be lifted. And then in this position, you're going to take your hand, place it behind the head. Actually, you know what, I'm not going to put it behind the head, I'm just going to leave it here. It's a little bit more advanced with it behind the head, but I haven't done this in a while and I think it's fine, just stay here. The idea is that we want to try and maintain the lift of the underneath waist. So we're going to extend the top leg. The bottom leg is at a 90 degrees. So in this position, I want your knees to be directly in line with your hips, 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. You're going to extend the top leg and internally rotate it. Just going to put that tuck that in. Internal rotation means knee faces down, foot faces down, or toes face down. Try and keep the underneath waist lifted. And we're just going to lift the top leg up on the out breath. Breathe out, lift, breathe in low. Reach long out of the hip to lift. Each out breath, engage the ribs toward the spine. Think of length through the back of the neck. Underneath waist stays lifted. Underneath shoulder away from the ear. One more, breathe out, lift. And then we're going to do little circles. Breathing in your own time now. 10 circles in each direction. Keep reaching long through the leg. You should feel this in the glute. So you should feel this in the bottom of the leg that is circling. Keeping that waist lifted. One more, and then other direction. Breathing in your own time. Use the breath to engage the abdominals. Keep the waist nice and lifted. 4 more. 4 and 3. 2. Last one. And then stacking the knees, stacking the feet, bringing the feet back in line with the bottom now. Keeping the underneath waist lifted. And we're going to open the top knee. Just into our traditional set of plans. Keep the ribs working toward the spine. Keep length through the back of the neck. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe out, lift. Try not to rock and roll the pelvis back. You want to lift the leg without moving. You want to lift, use the ball of the hip joint, not the socket. 2. Last one. Nice. Coming down onto your side. Extending both legs. Underneath waist is lifted. Top hand is on the mat for balance. You're going to breathe out to lift both legs. Breathe in long. This is the advanced, well, it's a more advanced exercise class, so I want you to bring your top hand into the air and keep the shoulder away from the ear. And try and keep that waist lifted as you do your double leg lift. Breathe out, lift. Working the ribs toward the spine. You are resting on a bony protuberance, so if it does hurt, just put something underneath it. Keep reaching long out of the top hip as you breathe out to lift. 2 more. And the last one, breathe out, lift, and hold it here. 2 breaths. Try and get a little bit more length, a little bit more height. And rest. And then other side. So just pop your head up the other end. Remember, we're in the setup for a side plank position. You want to try and keep that underneath waist lifted, so you want to really try and keep the ribs away from the floor in that kind of concave position. I always get it mixed up with convex, but it's cave. Keeping the collarbones nice and wide. Going to keep your knees at 90 degrees to the hips and extend the top leg. You want to internally rotate the top hip so that the knee faces down, the foot faces down, keep lifted through the underneath waist, and breathe out to lift. Breathe in lower. You want to really feel that through the glute of the leg that's lifting. Tummy draws in, ribs draw toward the spine each time you lift, keeping length through the torso. 2 more, breathe out, lift. Last one. And then circles. Breathing in your own time. Trying to keep the rest of the body nice and stable. Underneath waist is nice and lifted. Keeping length through the top leg. Two more. And last one, other direction. Keep working with the breath to draw the abdominals in, to keep that left side lifted. Last 2. And 1. And rest. Stack the knees and stack the feet. Bring the feet back in line with the bottom. Again, keeping that underneath waist lifted. We breathe out to open the top knee. Breathe in long. You want to try not to roll backwards. You want to keep the pelvis neutral. Keep the waist lifted. Use the glute, which you should be able to feel now, to open that knee. Like you're trying to push something up to the roof with the outside of the knee. 3 more, and 3, and 2. Last one. Nice. Coming down onto your side now. Legs extended out long and stacked one on top of the other. Underneath waist is lifted. Top hand is in the air. Breathe in to prepare. We breathe out to lift both legs. Breathe in more. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in. So really think about drawing your abdominals in, drawing your ribs down toward the hips as you elongate the legs out of the hips. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out to a lengthen. 3 more. And 2. Last one, hold it up. Try and get a little bit higher, 2 breaths. Last breath. and rest. Rolling onto your tummy. We're going to go into some back extension now. And if you keep the forehead on the mat, just turn it to face me. Interlace the fingers, place the hands on the lower back. You're going to elongate the legs long out of the hips. And with the hands, what you can do is you can actually press them into the lower back as if you're stretching your lower back toward your feet to try and get your pubic bone a little bit more on the mat. What you want to do to make sure that you're in neutral when you're lying prone or when you're lying on your tummy is to make sure that your pubic bone and your two hip bones are both on the same plane. That means you might need to tuck your pubic bone in a little bit. And to help you do that, you can lengthen your lower back with your hands. We're going to do the double leg kick. So lengthening the lower back with the hands will also help to keep the torso still as we kick both legs 3 times. So we go, what I just did, we go kick, kick, kick. Try not to move your whole body while you do it. So you're using the hands to press back, using the abdominals. Then as you extend the legs, you're going to lift them up and you're going to lift your head and your chest, reach your arms backwards, head faces forward. Then as you lower down, you're going to turn your head to face the other way. Kick, kick, kick. Inhale, extend, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Last one. Exhale to kick. Inhale up. And exhale to lower down. Push into the hands and sit back on the heels. In your child's pose, shell stretch, rest position, whatever you want to call it. Should just feel good. You can put your forehead on the floor and hands down by your sides. If your knees don't allow you to get into this position, just come back into your cat stretch. Feels good as well. And acknowledge yourself for making the effort. Thanks for joining me.